This is Media Watch Now. James Credence here. James, we're looking at the continuing twists and turns of the phone hacking scandal in the UK today. David Cameron, the Prime Minister, very much on the rack.
That's right. Came back early from Africa to speak at a special session in the Commons. And he played the transparency card. That's what a lot of the analysis is saying today, that he was trying to look as if he was being completely honest about this, admitting past mistakes, saying if he had known everything he knew about Andy Coulson, that's his former Director of Communications who worked as an editor at the News of the World, may have been aware of some of the hacking stuff that went on. He wouldn't now hire him. The Telegraph points out that Labour MP Tom Watson, who has been very prominent in all of this, gave him a grilling and revealed something that we didn't know up to now. He sent him a letter on the 4th of October last telling him that he had heard that Tom Watson had listened to voice recordings, or to listen to recordings of voicemails, so that he had been, aware of hacking, allegedly. And so this warning that Cameron got, he seems to have ignored, and Cameron was very evasive on this line of questioning from Tom Watson.
Central to the whole thing, though, is Cameron's judgment in taking on Andy Coulson as his Director of Communications, or spin doctor, as is the common term for that. And whilst Cameron might not have known about the phone hacking issue, surely he knew, by taking on someone who had run the News of the World, the tabloid that sort of delves into the ins and outs of people's lives and, trades on scurrilous stories,
right,
was clearly should have been an error of judgment that he should have spotted.
Because this scandal essentially goes back to 2005, even though a lot of it has come out more recently. There should have been some warning bells going off, you might say.
He was warned, though. Boris Johnson, I think, warned in London's
and the
Mail,
Guardian newspaper as well. So it's not looking very good for him. If we look at the Guardian themselves, they're focusing on something else at the moment. Did he have talks about the Sky B buyout, which was on the cards? It was meant to be rubber stamped last week and before everything went haywire. Did he have talks with senior people at News International, which of course is all part of the same broader company, News Corp? Now, he's not outright denying that. Under that line of questioning, he said he had no inappropriate conversation with senior executives. And as the Guardian
so they discussed it over dinner,
right?
That's what it means, isn't it?
They had. What it basically means is that there was a conversation. Maybe it wasn't inappropriate according to David Cameron, but there was a conversation.
People can be friends, can't they? Obviously, but right. I mean, he admits that there was a friendship, a personal friendship between Rebecca Brooks and his family. So clearly, when they bump heads, they're going to talk about something.
Of course, they're going to talk about this. They spent New Year's Eve together. I mean, this is a big deal. So I'm pretty sure it was. One could be pretty sure that it may have been discussed at some point. Anyway, the Guardian is saying he needs to be utterly transparent about this. There's been so much focus on the relations between Murdoch, Rebecca Brooks, and Cameron that he just has to come clean on whatever conversations happen.
Trying to think New Year's Eve with David Cameron. Nah, thanks. I don't fancy that. Playing spin the bottle with him. What would he sing? What would he sing? There you go.
And just very briefly, the New Statesman, they say he half apologised. He's buying himself time, and the charge of willful blindness will continue to haunt him. Okay. Now, there's something else that I'd like to talk about in all these transparency kind of revelations, scandals all over the place, WikiLeaks, Murdoch, etc. What about what's happening in Italy, where there could be an Italian version of WikiLeaks? Now, this is a guy called Spider Truman. Now, again, one can presume it's not his real name.
It's not a very Italian name, is it?
Spider Truman. Now, in any case, he had 15 years of job contracts at the Italian Parliament, and he says they were very precarious contracts, and he was recently let go, so he didn't have a lot of job security. He's out to get Italian MPs because of the fact that he was let go. He's calling himself the precarious Avenger, and he's kind of using the image of V for Vendetta, this kind of cartoon character, and he's revealing all sorts of information about free trips for MPs on Alitalia, the fact that the hairdressers who work for MPs earn about €11,000 a month, the fact that police escorts accompany MPs.
Can we get a job as a hairdresser for the MPs? That sounds brilliant, doesn't it?
But it's crazy, and I'll just show some of the stuff online. He set up a Facebook page which has 351,000 fans. It's called I segreti della casta di Montecitorio.
I've been writing that down as you were saying it.
The secrets of the cast of Montecitorio. Now, I just want to play very quickly, if we can, just pictures at the end of a video he's put online. And this is extraordinary. If we could just show very briefly the pictures.
And we'll end with that.
Here he is with a mask on, and he's covered his voice, and he's going to reveal a whole load of stuff. He's got documents on various different MPs. So yes, this could go and go and go.
James Creedon.
Feeney is in there as well.
Feeney, that's
I think you'll see Feeney coming up shortly. I think
Feeney now, yeah. Gianfranco Feeney,
there you go.
The big rival of Silvio Berlusconi. Yeah?
Italian MPs beware. He's an angry man. He's a very angry man.
He's a what do you call it? A precarious
Precarious Avenger.
Okay, James, thank you very much. That was Media Watch.